In the vast expanse of human existence, one thing has remained ever true. One thing has guided our journey and shaped the very foundation of our civilization: knowledge. This knowledge, in all its forms, is the lifeblood of human progress. And it is through the pursuit of wisdom that we understand ourselves, the world around us, and the very universe in which we reside. Knowledge is not a mere accumulation of facts or data, but a living force, a divine gift bestowed upon humanity to guide us toward enlightenment, compassion, and ultimately to a closer relationship with the Creator. But as with all blessings, knowledge carries with it a sacred responsibility. To reject knowledge is not merely to turn away from information. It is to turn away from the very path that leads us to wisdom, understanding, and in the truest sense, the divine. God has, throughout history, sent his guidance in the form of divine revelations, teachings, and prophets. These revelations are not arbitrary. They are the roadmaps that guide us through the uncertainties and trials of life. But the greatest of these gifts, the one that allows us to build bridges across our differences, to create civilizations that care for one another, and to understand the purpose of our existence, is knowledge itself. Knowledge is a form of worship, a means of drawing nearer to God, for it opens the door to understanding his will, his majesty, and his mercy. From the first moment that God breathed life into Adam, he endowed humanity with intellect, the ability to reason, to think critically, to understand cause and effect, to learn from the past, and to plan for the future. All of these attributes are born from the gift of knowledge. The Quran tells us in Surah Al-Alaq, read, "In the name of your Lord who created man from a clot of blood." Read, "And your Lord is the most generous, who taught by the pen, taught man that which he knew not." Quran 96:15. These words were among the first that were revealed to Prophet Muhammad PBUH, reminding humanity that knowledge is not only a tool of survival, but it is also a means of reaching a higher purpose. But knowledge is not just intellectual. It is not confined to the books, the scrolls, or the theories we come across in our studies. Knowledge is the realization that every moment of our lives, every breath we take, is a gift from God. It is the understanding that our role in this world is not to dominate, but to serve. The knowledge of our purpose, our limitations, and our duties towards our Creator, fellow human beings, and the earth itself is at the very core of our existence. Rejecting knowledge, therefore, is not merely ignoring facts or refusing to engage with ideas. It is rejecting the very essence of our humanity, the very essence of our connection to God. In rejecting knowledge, we reject the opportunity to understand the world in its true form, to see beyond the veil of illusion, and to be steered by truth. God has not left us to navigate this world blindly. He has given us the intellect to discern right from wrong, the heart to differentiate between compassion and cruelty, and the spirit to know that there is a higher purpose behind everything we experience. To deny this knowledge is to shut ourselves off from the light of understanding, and in doing so, we cast ourselves into darkness. This rejection of knowledge is a rejection of God's plan for us. We are his creation, and he has endowed us with the faculties necessary to grow, to learn, and to develop. To refuse to learn, to resist the pursuit of knowledge, is to refuse to grow and develop in the way that God intended. It is to deny the potential that lies within us, to forsake the very means by which we can achieve a higher state of being. In the Quran, God tells us, "Are those who know equal to those who do not know? Only they will remember who are people of reason." Quran 39:9. This verse underscores the profound difference between those who seek knowledge and those who reject it. Knowledge, in this context, is not simply a matter of accumulation. It is about the application of intellect, the use of reasoning, and the pursuit of wisdom. Knowledge opens doors to a higher understanding, a deeper appreciation of life, and an enhanced ability to fulfill the divine purpose that God has set for us. The importance of knowledge is not limited to the spiritual realm alone. It transcends all aspects of human existence. Scientific discoveries, technological advancements, medical innovations, and the cultural richness of human societies are all the fruits of knowledge. The Quran repeatedly calls upon us to reflect upon the natural world, to observe the sun and the moon, the stars and the earth, the plants and the animals, and to seek knowledge from them. In Surah Al-Imran, God asks us to look at the sky, look at the earth, look at the mountains, and reflect. Quran 3:191. Every corner of this world is filled with lessons waiting to be discovered. To turn away from this world of knowledge is to shut ourselves off from the very source of our growth and development. Knowledge leads to understanding, and understanding is what enables us to live in harmony with one another and with the world around us. When we reject knowledge, we reject the very means by which we can find peace. Ignorance breeds division, hatred, and conflict. It is through knowledge that we learn to overcome our differences, to see beyond race, religion, and nationality, and to understand that we are all part of the same human family. Knowledge teaches us empathy, compassion, and justice. It reveals to us the beauty of diversity and the strength that lies in unity. Moreover, knowledge empowers us to be better stewards of the earth. The Quran repeatedly emphasizes the responsibility humanity holds for the planet, urging us to preserve its resources and protect its environment. It is through knowledge that we understand the fragility of the earth, the importance of sustainable living, and the consequences of our actions. To reject knowledge in this context is to jeopardize not only our own future, but the future of generations to come. It is to abandon our duty to protect the world that God has entrusted to us. The rejection of knowledge is not a passive act. It is an active choice, one that carries severe consequences. When we reject knowledge, we close ourselves off from growth and progress. We hinder our ability to solve the problems we face, whether they are personal, social, or global. We perpetuate cycles of ignorance and suffering, making it harder to overcome the challenges of life. Those who reject knowledge are condemned to live in darkness, unaware of the beauty and potential that lies just beyond their grasp. God has, through his wisdom, made knowledge the key to liberation. It is through knowledge that we are freed from the shackles of ignorance and superstition. It is through knowledge that we are empowered to make choices that align with his will. The pursuit of knowledge is not merely a matter of intellectual curiosity. It is a form of devotion, a means of drawing closer to God. Every step we take in the pursuit of knowledge is a step toward enlightenment, toward understanding the true nature of our existence, and toward fulfilling the purpose for which we were created. The Quran warns us against the consequences of rejecting knowledge, urging us to reflect and seek understanding. In Surah Arizona Zuma Zuma, God says, say, are those who know equal to those who do not know? Quran 39:9. This rhetorical question highlights the stark difference between those who choose to seek knowledge and those who choose to remain in ignorance. The consequences of rejecting knowledge are clear. We remain in a state of confusion, unable to see the truth that lies before us. In our daily lives, we are constantly presented with opportunities to learn and grow, whether through formal education, life experiences, or the wisdom shared by others. We are always surrounded by the potential for knowledge. The key is to remain open, to seek knowledge actively, and to never stop learning. Knowledge is not static. It is a journey that continues throughout our lives. It is a path that leads us to greater understanding, to deeper compassion, and to a closer connection with God. To reject knowledge is to reject the opportunity for transformation. It is to deny ourselves the chance to grow, to improve, and to become the best versions of ourselves. It is to turn away from the light that God has provided and to embrace the darkness of ignorance. Knowledge is the gift that keeps on giving. It empowers us to rise above the challenges we face, to build bridges between cultures, to heal wounds, and to bring justice to the world. When we reject knowledge, we reject our own potential, and we deny ourselves the opportunity to live the life that God has intended for us. Thus, the message is clear. God rejects those who reject knowledge. To turn away from knowledge is to turn away from the very essence of life. It is to refuse the blessings that God has bestowed upon us and to live in a state of ignorance and darkness. But to embrace knowledge, to seek it relentlessly, and to apply it with wisdom and compassion is to live in alignment with God's will. It is to fulfill the divine purpose for which we were created. Therefore, let us not reject knowledge, for in doing so, we reject the very light that guides us toward truth, justice, and peace.